Hello folks, it's Monday again, which means another Monday Rules Challenge. But first, I should announce the winner for last week's challenge. Actually, before I get around to doing that, I should actually first wish all the people in Canada a very happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're having lots of turkey and are spending some quality time with your family on this wonderful day. Now, moving on to the winner of the Tier 1 Citadel Challenge is a familiar name. That's right, if you remember watching the 25k subscriber giveaway video, Lord Zath placed first in the reversed BBHE challenge. And Lord Zath claims himself another prize, this one being the Tier 1 Citadel Challenge. So, Lord Zath managed in this battle 10 citadels, which was fantastic. And interestingly enough, he won it in Erie, which was interesting because I remember when I made the video last week, a lot of people kind of looked at the challenge and said, we're making bets that the Erie is going to win it. And it did. And I think the Erie, in a way, is very well suited to winning this particular challenge because at Tier 1, it's got 152mm guns, which are quite good and plenty enough to Citadel most of the ships down at that tier because there's just not that much armor to deal with. Not only that, but, well, a lot of Tier 1 players make themselves extremely vulnerable to armor piercing because, well, they have a tendency of stopping. And you'll see that in this particular battle too. Actually, this is actually a huge tip for those of you who are down at Tier 1 still, the new players. Don't sit still. Ever. I mean, unless you've got an island covering you, otherwise don't sit still. At least not in open ocean, because if you do, and you're showing your broadside, it's very, very easy for a player who knows what they're doing with armor piercing to citadel you. And citadels wipe out your HP significantly faster than even HE can do it because, I mean, even at Tier 1, every citadel is a huge chunk of your HP and a huge chunk of damage that they can pull off. And when your ships don't have that much HP, it really does hurt. So as you can see, there's the Hashidate just kind of sitting still and not moving, and it's just going to get punished. And actually it was more than one Hashidate, there was two of them over there that were just sitting still. Lord Zath even actually in this battle manages more than just the Citadel hits. He actually manages like 5 kills as well, so way to carry. I also think that the Erie itself is actually a very, very good ship for Tier 1. I mean, it's small, its guns are big, and it's pretty accurate. So I actually think among the Tier 1 ships, the Erie is actually one of the better ones. I mean, in the old days, you know, one could argue that the Kotori was pretty good because it had a huge HP pool, but I think these days when most of the Tier 1s are roughly the same area in terms of HP, I think the Erie has a pretty big advantage when it comes to Tier 1 battles. Anyways, yeah, and you'll see that like a lot of the Tier 1 players do some of the really, you know, strange things. They go backwards in the open ocean. Like, don't go backwards in the open ocean. If you're in cover, I can kind of understand stopping and taking cover, but in the open ocean, don't do that. You're just making yourself an easy target. I mean, heck, compared to even the Tier 2s, I would say the Erie is pretty good. I mean, if you think about, for example, I don't know, the Chester or something like that. I mean, even the Chikuma is, you know, while it has more guns, it's huge. And if you go broadside with the Chikuma to a person who knows what they're doing with AP, like, you will just die very, very fast deaths. The Hashidate, though, some people might say, well, you know, is the Hashidate that much worse? Well, not really. I remember a while back, and I kind of saw a Hashidate player who did like a Citadel thing, and they had 12 Citadels in a battle. So the Hashidate is very, very capable of getting Citadel hits as well. Anyways, now you didn't notice that I generally said don't sit still, but you did see that in this particular sequence just a little while ago. Lord Zath was actually sitting still and shooting over this little island at that Hashidate. You can do that, but you can only do that if you know that you're safe, meaning you have an island in front of you, there's nobody to your sides, you know, nobody can actually get your vulnerable spots. Then yeah, you can kind of sit there and just lob shells over and hope that you can land some good hits. Now, right here, this enemy Hashidate has decided to pretty much turn broadside to Lord Zath and has decided to head north to engage the two Chikumas. And this is, well, I mean, you know, it's Tier 1, so I'm not going to really criticize anybody, but, you know, at this particular situation, the Hashidate could have looked at his minimap and realized, okay, there's two Chikumas coming kind of to the northern areas. So, you know, if they looked at the map and noticed that there was only an Erie on the other side of this island, the Hashidate would have done better, I think, just to go one-on-one with the Erie. You might still die, but at least I think you would have done some more damage than going up against 2 Chikumas, which would have killed you very, very quickly. Anyways, and here you go. And this is what I was talking about earlier, the tier 1 versus tier 2 kind of thing. I mean, the Erie's beating up on this Chester with no difficulty at all. And of course, you did see that. Like, when you get a citadel, look at the damage on the citadels. Like, when the citadels do come up, it's like 3,000 damage for one citadel. And if you can do that, it's like the tier 1 and 2 cruisers just die extremely quickly to citadel hits. I mean, yeah, just this Chester didn't really last very long, and Lord Zath is actually not even hitting a lot of his shots. But there we go. Finally, does get the citadel to finish off the Chester over there, and that's the thing. It's like armor piercing at tier 1 is fantastic. Just as long as you're able to hit those citadels, you can take down ships very, very quickly. Because I mean, think about it. If one citadel hit does 3,000 damage, and an Erie only has 9,900 hit points, I mean, 2 citadels and like most of the HP of that ship is gone. Anyways, finally, I think there goes 2 more Eries. Take a look at this. This is going to be a relatively fast engagement, 2-on-1, and again showing that broadside. Right? Take a look at the angle that Lord Zath is showing these 2 Eries. It's a little bit more angled, a little bit harder for them to actually do a lot of damage. But on the flip side, when he fires and he actually hits the stuff, that the enemy Eries is just going to take damage because they're sailing in pretty much a straight line. And there you go. Boom, look at that. One citadel, 2 hits, 3,300 damage. And that Erie, I mean, just can't take over 3,000 damage in a salvo because you'll die very, very quickly. In this way, I mean, the tier 1 battles in World of Warships do actually kind of remind me of like the World of Tanks battles, where at tier 1, it's, I mean, your tank could be destroyed in seconds. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, I enjoy the tier 1 battles. I remember back in World of Tanks just because of how quick they are. It was just like, bam, in no time at all, the battle was done. Ooh, look at this. Chester sitting still, stopped, just at this range, it's just going to make life so much easier. Look at this, just watch. Ooh, I mean, now the engine got knocked out, so this is just going to be, look at that. 1 hit, 3,000, there goes another 3,000. Just look how quickly the HP just melts off of the lower tier cruisers when you hit their citadels. It's insane. So for those of you who are thinking of playing tier 1s, just shoot AP, hit those citadels, and watch the glorious damage come out. Alright, let's take a look at the final results screen there. 10 citadel hits, 5 ships sunk, 36 target hits in total, and 1,155 experience, which isn't so bad at all. So Lord Zath, keep an eye open for your email, and I'll be sending you some doubloons. So let's move on to this week's challenge. And Monday Rules challenge number 10 is a Pyromania challenge. That's right, we are gonna try to set fire to the world. No, I kid. Anyways, so use any tier 5 to 8 ship, deal as much fire damage as humanly possible, and most fire damage wins. Yes, that means I do want to see everything burn. There are no other restrictions. Have fun with the challenge, and once again, have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, and always remember, folks, Monday rules.